Hi again. In this lecture you're going to learn the while loop. You already learned the for loop in the previous section of the course, and the while loop is a more rarely used loop, but it's still a very important concept to learn, and so that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to use Atom here as a text editor to write and execute a script. So I have this empty folder in here, and I can go ahead and open Atom. From the list of programs, you can search for Atom. Once Atom is open, you can go to File and Add Project folder. And so you want to select a folder where you want to save your files. I selected this Beyond Basics folder, and then just close all tabs. You don't need them, even the welcome guide. And then right click here on your folder and go to New File. Give a name to your file. And that's it. Now if I go here, you see that I have just created this while loop file. Then if you have successfully installed a terminal for Atom, you can open it with this plus icon here. Otherwise, feel free to use your command line. So cmd, it's called on Windows, terminal, it's called on Mac, and you can execute your program from there. If you need to cd to your project, you use a cd command, so to change directory to the Beyond Basics folder in my case. So the while loop now, a while loop, you saw that the for loop was iterating through a list, so or a tuple or a dictionary, whatever it is, so through a sequence, and was doing something on that sequence. Now the difference between the for loop and the while loop is that the for loop will run as far as there are still items in the list. So the for loop will run until the moment that the list is consumed. Now the while loop is different. The while loop will run until a condition is true. So for example, let's say until x is greater than a number, the loop will do this thing here, do something. So let me go ahead and do an example. That's the main difference between the for loop and the while loop. The for loop runs based on a sequence, the while loop runs based on a condition. Let's say while x is smaller than 3, print smaller. What is x, by the way? Well, x, we have to define it in here, otherwise we will get a name error. Python will say that you haven't defined this variable. So let's put a value, an initial value of 0. Then while the loop runs, the loop will iterate, so it will run several times. And then we want to find a way to change x as the loop executes. So let's say x will be increased by 1 in each iteration of the loop. So let me try this. And this is what you get. You get this string printed out 3 times. And this is what happened in the script. So Python executes a script starting from the first line, and it goes down one line, one by one. In the first line, what we do is we assign 0 to x. So now we have a variable. And then the while loop checks if the value of that variable is less than 3. So in the first iteration, this will be evaluated to true, because 0 is actually less than 3. So 0 is less than 3, if you don't believe me. Yeah, the idea is that I wanted to show you that this actually is equal to true. So while true, these things will be executed. And therefore, print smaller will be executed when x is 0. And then x, we are redefining the variable here. So basically, we are saying that we're creating a new variable, which is called x. And this new variable will get the value of the existing variable x plus 1. So 0 plus 1. And we're redefining a value of 1 to x, because 0 plus 1 is 1. Now, when Python goes to this line, then it goes to the while loop again. If there were more lines in here, it doesn't go through those lines because the loop is still running, the condition is still true. So Python goes to this line again, and this time x is 1, so 1 is smaller than 3, yes, print this again. Then x is redefined, so x is equal to 1 plus 1, so 2. Go there again, 2 is smaller than 3. Print smaller again, and then goes redefine again. X is 2 plus 1 is 3. Goes to the while loop here. 3 is less than 3. No, it's not. So what happens is that Python doesn't execute these lines anymore, but it goes to execute the next line. And since there are no more lines, the program ends. So you see that you don't get any more output in here. That's the idea. I still have one more example to show you in the next lecture about while loops, and then we move on with other concepts. So see you in the next lecture.